just right now. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. Hey, Nikwa. Hey, that's loud. I know it is. Hola, 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 hola. Ooh, excuse me. I'm burping, and I ain't even really ate nothing. I had some yogurt earlier, and that was it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. I just came back from the I just came back from the post office box today. Hey y'all. Hey. Hey everybody. I've been trying to can my stuff. That's why I ain't been on here. And I've been having to stay up because I always start at the wrong time. And I be up till 2 o'clock in the morning. Both times. I said I'm gonna have to start this in the daytime. I've been starting it at hey y'all. I've been starting at the meat process at like 6 o'clock. I can't do that. I gotta start doing it today, in the daytime. Hey, you all right? You okay? We ain't about to be doing much. I just really came on here to show y'all this mug because I know y'all be worried if I don't pop on here. Hey, it's good to see you too. Because I've been working. I got like 10 or 12 things of chicken, the little canisters done. And I got carrots and I got green beans, but I can't even process them because they're not acidic enough. So I'm going to have to dehydrate those. So I'm going to have to move the other thing and put the dehydrator back, but that's fine. As long as we got it. Hey, I haven't been resting, but I just ain't been on. I've been trying to learn this water bathing thing with the chicken, and it's a process because some of them wasn't sealing and some of them did. The first batch, I just put it in the freezer. I'm gonna use it for some. I want to make me a chicken pot pie today. That's really what I want to put it in, cause the chicken is perfect, and I got some corn and peas in there. I said, well, I might as well. I like broccoli in mine though too. Do y'all like broccoli in y'all chicken pot pie? Fire. Whose birthday is it? Whose birthday did I miss? Oh, happy birthday, Miss Hobbs. Happy birthday, Pumpkin. Sorry I didn't see that. Happy birthday. Yeah, broccoli in there is fire. Yeah, yeah. I ain't never put no mushrooms in it, but I think I got some. I ain't never put no mushrooms in mine, but I like mushrooms, so there's that. I just was like, I ain't got no time to be wasting nothing, and I didn't know if I did it right. And they said you could freeze it and still use it, so I got 8 pounds of already cooked chicken breast. I mean chicken thighs that's already cut up. I could make some queso dip or something with it and put that in there and have some chips or whatever. A couple of things. Hey, you gon' yeah, I got some dehydrated mushrooms. I do. Yeah. You said you turned me on to dehydrate, and I'm so thankful. You're welcome, Pumpkin. Listen, this is what I had to tell y'all niece the other day too. Right? I told y'all niece this the other day. I'm very grateful for not having money. Like when I was raising my kids, I had money and then I didn't have money. But the times that I didn't have money, right? All of this stuff that I know how to do, right? It came from that. You know what I mean? It came from being in a situation and still needing to get it. It do. I'm grateful for it though. I'm grateful for it. When I got married and I had all them kids and everybody had big appetites, invaluable lessons. Come on. I had to be able to stretch my budget because my ex-husband, his money didn't go up right away. So now I got 4 extra mouths to feed every month. And so then that's when I had to start processing my own meat. I started making a lot of my own. Well, I was doing it prior to that too, but really then, like, that's why I didn't go buy no boxes of no brownies. I went and got cocoa powder, sugar, flour, oil, and some egg. All those different things. Yeah, yeah. And so now I can make a big old pan of brownies for less than what it costs one box of brownies at the store. Me too. Sometimes I say to God, "Oh, you don't want me to be a natural millionaire, huh? I'm grateful because how we love it, girl. You see all the stuff about the rich people in the Bible. You ain't missing nothing. As you can see, the folks that had to struggle their whole life, they not really tripping about a lot of what's going on. We already used to not having it. It might get a little bit tighter, but we already used to not having it. So it's the folks that's worried about their millions and gazillions that's crying because their money is their identity. It's either this or this. That's their identity. That's why we doing what we doing right now. Learning how to make bread, learning how to make cheese, finding other ways to do things the same way that our ancestors had to. Did y'all see he segregated the White House? Now watch them not. Seriously? Well, maybe they took it down already. Hold on. Oh, here it goes. Segregated facilities are no longer, hold on. Segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned in federal contracts. So basically, it says after a recent change by the Trump administration, the federal government no longer explicitly prohibits contractors from having segregated restaurants, waiting rooms, and drinking fountains. The segregation clause is one of the several identified in a public memo, issued by the General Services Administration last month. Basically, he about to segregate everything. He said these provisions are require federal contractors to adhere to the comply with these provisions that require federal contractors to adhere to comply with federal civil rights laws and to maintain integrated rather than segregated workplaces were part of the federal government's efforts to facilitate the settlement that led to integration in the 1950s and the 1960s. Hey, Pumpkin. So not only is he about to segregate that good old White House, he about to segregate other places as well. When you the best, you don't care who around. That's all I'm gonna say. When you the best, you saw it. When you the best, you don't care about who else is around. The only time you worried about trying to keep people out of your circle is when you know you're not the best. Because the best people want competition. The best people want something that's going to challenge them. You're not the best if you always trying to eliminate your competition, babe. Trying to make it unfair so they can't get to where you're going. That just shows that you know you're not the best. You're not the greatest. You're not the most important. That's all. Plain and simple. Because when I was in beauty school, I didn't care about who was doing what. I was just going to be cool with what I did. And I didn't have to try to tell somebody, oh, I wouldn't go to them if I was you. And I didn't have to do that because I'm good at what I do. And those that mess with me is going to come mess with me, period. So the fact that you keep trying to keep certain people out of spaces lets us know where you feel like you fall. We don't care. You ain't trying to keep somebody that ain't better than you out. And I'm not saying, but you see what I'm saying? You doing that for a reason, sir. You know what it is. You trying to segregate medical facilities, medical schools, all of this. Tired of black excellence, maybe? You might as well go on and lay down then, because they never going to stop being excellent. Just understand that. Ever. It's never going to happen. Black people are always going to excel, and the reason why is because we was the originals, period. So it's in our DNA to make something out of nothing because we was the first people here. Sorry to my cousins, but it's the truth, and you have to see it for yourself. Yeah, but you got to see for yourself that they're doing this because most of the top rated doctors, black, physicists, black, everything, athletes, everything, they people of color. And even if they not black, they Indian, they Spanish, they something else. And this is not trying to be mean to my white cousins, but in reality, when y'all family members be doing that, it just shows that they know that they're inferior in a lot of areas. That's it. And they want people to be okay with mediocre, and nobody's okay with mediocre. You said cream rise to the top, that part. So everything that he is doing is very racist. And it just shows that he already know where he really at on the totem pole. Him as a person. Period. Moving on. How y'all doing today? That's what I've been trying not to even be on TikTok. I've been on there all of maybe 45 minutes for this whole day. I've been doing other stuff because it's crazy. Even though we need to know what's going on, it's a lot. It's just too much craziness over there, for real. It's a lot of craziness that I'm not really wanting in my spirit that much. Good job. You're just getting off, okay? Yeah. And this the thing, y'all. I didn't want to start sounding like Aaron Parnas. Even though I already have been. Right? Just, we got breaking news. We got breaking news. I'm tired. I'm tired of the breaking news. I don't want to do it, but did y'all see that peace talk today? We is gonna talk about that. Did y'all see it? Y'all saw the peace talk? Right around the time that these devils is about to be, and they gonna have the talks in the Middle East. That. Did my phone just stop? I don't know. today. But baby, the purpose of education. We have breaking news, an official White House readout of the call between President Trump and the President Vladimir Putin of Russia about efforts to end the war in Ukraine. I'm going to read the entire statement for you, again from the White House press office, 4 paragraphs long. This is what it says about that phone call, which lasted about an hour and a half. Today, President Trump and President Putin spoke about the need for peace and a ceasefire in the Ukraine war. Both leaders agreed this conflict needs to end with a lasting peace. They also stressed the need for improved bilateral relations between the United States and Russia. The blood and treasure that both Ukraine and Russia have been spending in this war would be better spent on the needs of their people. This conflict should never have started and should have ended long ago with sincere and good faith peace efforts. The leaders agreed that the movement to peace will begin with an energy and infrastructure ceasefire, as well as technical negotiations on implementation of a maritime ceasefire in the Black Sea, full ceasefire, and permanent peace. These negotiations will begin immediately in the Middle East. The leaders spoke broadly about the Middle East as a region of potential cooperation to prevent future conflicts. They further discussed the need to stop proliferation of strategic weapons and will engage with others to ensure the broadest possible application. The 2 leaders shared the view that Iran should never be in a position to destroy Israel. The 2 leaders agreed that a future with an improved bilateral relationship between the United States and Russia has huge upside. This includes enormous economic deals and geopolitical stability when peace has been achieved. We have breaking news. Iran, Trump, war with America across the sea. Here we go. Iran, Trump. Okay, hold on. Don't go anywhere. The royal bird eagle shall fly for many months over an eastern city. When it unlooses its most deadly weapon, which shines with the brilliance of lighting, the eastern will crumble. Interesting. Then it says, through Switzerland and neighboring places, by reason of the clouds shall fall to war, the lobsters, locusts, and gnats, the fall of Geneva shall appear very naked. This is Nostradamus. The Netherlands, Switzerland, Greenway, all of those little places. It said from the clouds, it's going to be some war. This is Nostradamus in 1555 or whenever it was that he wrote this. Divided into 2 heads and parted in 3 arms, the great city shall be troubled with waters. Some great ones among them scattered by banishment. By a Persian head, Turkey shall be much oppressed. And it says, Paris surrenders to Nazi Germany on June 14th, 1940, and is overrun or inundated with Germans. French leaders scatter. At the same time, there is much unrest in the East, Russia. as Hitler attacks the Russians on June 22nd, 1940. June 22nd. Let's remember that date. Just one more. Beep, 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 beep. It says, oil-rich Arabs and princes idolizing modern technology shall soon be victimized. The kings and princes with golden horns shall have their lands uprooted. Are the Arabs at war right now? The Arab world is at war. Yeah, they are. Okay. It says an alliance in forecast between Libya and France with the construction of a nuclear reactor. Interesting. I'm looking for the one where it had Russia, but maybe I took it out. And this whole book is not marked, just specific things. I want you to know that. Just specific things are marked. And it's so crazy because he had me mark specific things, and now I understand why. And this was in 2019. That's about the Antichrist. Well, y'all seen it the last time I was in here, and it was like China and Russia, and it was talking about Trump, but I can't seem to find it just right now. But I've showed it prior to. I just showed it a couple weeks ago. So it's just crazy that I put that stuff in here, and literally all of it is. It's all happening. All the stuff that I was marking and saying is important. We're going to read this here in a minute. Interesting.
An official White House readout of the call between President Trump.
So, do y'all remember in the videos that I used to have on TikTok, and I had the yellow braids in black braids, yellow jacket on, and I was talking about China and Russia and the United States? I went and got these journals because I wrote about Mr. Rumpy Rump in 2021 a lot about the things that he was doing. Let's see, 2-1. Is it this notebook or my other one? Oh no, it might have been 20. It was 2021 and 2020. So I was writing about all that was going on. So no, it's 2020. Excuse me. It is this one. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me 1 second. So, okay. Here we go. This was just about the shutdown. And the leaders. Sorry, y'all, because I gotta hold this a certain way. Four to 2020. It said I said the world travel ban is in 6 months, 42 months after you told me to count all of the tribulation things are here. It says so today the world is in chaos. This is talking about the coronavirus, food is rationed. Listen. Trying to find out where I was talking about Trump. This was Revelation 6. Because I wrote specific things about what he was doing, but I don't know if it's in this notebook or my other one. I'm sorry. Hold on, y'all. Because I'm wondering if... Well, no. Yep. Because this is talking about him opening the country back up and people being sick. Give me 1 second, y'all. Because I know I wrote about him in Russia. The world is in an odd state. The world is really weird. I was talking about him. I just keep saying our president, our president, our president in here, and it was just on all the stuff that he was doing. I don't know if it's in this notebook or another one. Can I read this to y'all? And I might have already read this before, but I want to read parts of this. It says, Lord, all the things that you told me are happening. War in homes, war in the streets. Lord, the mark of the beast is really here. All the plagues and rumors of war. I am a little scared. I said I have a pew. I said people are randomly killing people. Food is getting scarcer. God, they cancel school. The kids are not going back. What in the world? Nobody believes that we are in the tribulation. People are only worried about looking good and not concerned. Help me please and help my family. And then I said, I know you're soon to come. It said a lot of people are going to die. This was 7/13/2020, y'all. It said the dread that is coming. The cashless society is here. Food rations, sickness, and war. We are in the last minutes, and I pray that I make it, and my children and my husband make it. Thank you for the night terrors. Thank you for being able to see the shadows. Thank you for medical intuition, and thank you for the gift of knowledge and understanding, and thank you for foresight. Do y'all think that's crazy? Huh? The world has been blinded by the lure of wealth and the plot of riches. So much so that they don't even see the cashless society that is upon us. It said life has changed so much in 2020. Life has come to a halt. Just like you said, food is rationed, the world is in chaos, plagues, murder, lasciviousness, pride, arrogance, the love of money, and everything that you said. I'm sorry, we are so evil. Jesus. I need to come back in here and read some of these. I kept talking about our president and all that he was doing in here, but it just says our president, blah, blah, blah. Just talking about the stupid decisions he was making. I'm sorry. Hey, y'all. I was just looking, and I know it's in one of these, but I'm not gonna sit here and make y'all wait. But I will find them and we'll go over them, because it seems to me like he's doing a lot of what he did the first time. When I was thinking about the stuff that he did, and I wrote down a lot that he did, I just gonna have to figure out exactly which journal it's in. But it should be in these. I might have to go back to my yeah, I might have to go through my other journals and see which one it's in. But I wrote it when I was watching all the videos about him and Putin and all of the stuff that was going on with Putin being in the White House, and them saying that our documents and different things had gotten taken, and the information that they got. I was writing all of that down because I knew it was going to be important. It was important then, but it's really important now. It's really important now because he laid the groundwork for the stuff the first time he was in office. And now he's making sure that he can get it done. The crazy thing is all of this is all of the restrictions that he's lifting is making it possible for somebody to refuse you if you don't have that universal identification code. Do y'all see what's happening? Because if he can segregate things, then he can say, well, I'm only, you can say as a business owner, I'm only going to serve people that use the universal. I don't take cash. I don't take this, and I don't have to take your money. Everything that he is doing is putting it in place for what's about to go down. And you got to think, he's with Russia. We knew about the kings from the north. Okay? We knew about the kings from the north coming down, the north of Israel. Right? But Trump is also considered a North American king, prince, right? Who's putting the peace deals together between the Middle East, Russia, and the Ukraine? Who's doing that? And the quatrain, when I find it, it says that the king from the north, he's going to trick everybody involved. Do y'all think that fits his character? Elon? Yeah. Well, we know that Trump is like, Elon is the little demon that sits on Trump's shoulder. Elon is the he whisper in his ear. You hear me? So this peace deal coming around the time that it is, this is all biblical prophecy. Y'all know it. But it's also about to be some other stuff that's going on probably in between there now, because I just saw today that Israel is ramping up their Israel keeps breaking the ceasefire. Did y'all see that? Y'all saw that they keep breaking the ceasefire? The must that's hanging on the sleeve of a t-shirt. That part, when you sniff it and want it to go back from your head. Okay. Does that make sense if the Antichrist is sitting in there? If he's trying to bring back segregation, that could be used to force black people to take the mark. And we all know black people ain't. Too many of us our grandmas made us go watch all that. I mean, it's gonna be for everybody though. You know what I mean? It's gonna be, but you gotta think. If the colored people of this country goes away, this country goes away. They can't even handle somebody not acknowledging them. They gonna start to turn on each other and eat them. They gonna eat each other because they're ravenous. If we all left, they would start to treat each other that way. And they like to take credit for stuff they didn't do. They not loyal even to themselves. All you gotta do is look at everything that Trump projects onto other races of people is how he is. Everything that he says about every other race is who he is. In some of these Uber conversations, they already do. Come on. Everything that he says, oh, they're criminals. He's the criminal. Oh, they murderers. Well, you didn't kill a lot of people's life because you took their money and they could never get it back and their lives were destroyed. You do unjust business dealings. Everything that he says about the other people, about being drug dealers and all that, come on. Y'all think he just live in Florida for no reason? Trump was a part of the old school 70s party scene in New York. All of his houses is strategically placed for a reason. So he can get access to his fixes, which is young women and drugs. Period. And dishonest businessmen. Dishonest businessmen hang out in areas where there's a lot of glamour and, he with his people. Yeah. 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 We talk. Okay, listen. Miss Fields, please tell me that you didn't overhear me say, don't be okay with them doing it to anybody, because if they doing it to them, they gonna start doing it to regular Americans. Now they're opening up the jails. And they say we waste money on criminals in jail, but they about to take all this money and they're taking working citizens, students, and putting them in jail so that the people, Trump's friends that own the prisons, can get rich. Y'all realize what this is about. They about to take that money from the government too, and ICE. You know who else is making a lot of money? Guess who else is making a lot of money? Y'all, did y'all forget about the man, his friend that run the port? Tariffs benefit that man greatly. Oh yes, that man about to make some money, honey. He stopped it and caused the panic, and this is his payback. The money he about to get from these tariffs and stuff. Sorry, y'all. It's a lot of mess. So glad we knew it was coming. That part, Bonnie. That part. And that's why y'all, I was about to say y'all TT. That's why y'all teacher been trying to chill out. I gotta get my mind together. And that's why I ain't been on TikTok that much. I've been dedicating less than an hour or two for the last couple days. And I feel good. I don't feel discombobulated or all just frazzled. I've been censoring or trying to just make sure that I'm monitoring the time that I'm online, looking at just flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping it. I don't want to do it. My cousin said something to me the other day. She said, "You never used to watch TV." I said, "I know." And I just be needing something to take my mind off of whatever. I never used to. Remember when I first met y'all? I didn't really watch TV. I can watch TV for 3 hours straight now. 4. No problem. I'm detoxing. Yes, I have to. I have to. I have to. So don't think I'm up to nothing. I ain't up to nothing. I've been working. I'm getting ready to go in here and switch everything back because I thought I was going to be able to water can my carrots and stuff, but I'm not. Water bath because they're not acidic enough, so I'm going to dehydrate them. So I'm going to do that. Get the dehydrator back up where it's been. I did get some chicken done. I'm just trying to, because I really do feel like this year could be very life changing for us. And so I don't want us to be high strung. I want us to be, and plus we got a lot of stuff to do. We got planting to do. I definitely been taking a social media detox. Yes. And you feel more level headed. Yes, baby. I've been sitting outside just watching the bees and birds. I found a dehydrator for $3 at Goodwill. Yeah. Yeah. Like I've been wanting to go to Aldi's for a minute. Just look around and see what they got, because they always got nice little kitchen stuff. I'd go straight to the clearance. But they be having, like, I ain't even been able to go to Aldi's or just, I've been getting up in the morning and I go out and my daughters have been talking. Like, I've been on the phone with my girls and just, you know, you said have to detox because when we have to be serious, it will be heavy. Exactly. Exactly. Y'all want to know something? I was at the Asian store for 2 hours. Right. Just looking. Right. We are unbothered. I've been tending to my chickens and planting my fruit and vegetables. Exactly. And this is more of what I want. Y'all, we hit it hard for 3 years. Raise your hand if you feel like you had intense study and worked on yourself. We deserve a little bit of break. And it ain't that we not reading, like I'm still reading and stuff. I needed to just, and I hope y'all getting it too. We put in thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. And I know, like, people, we're still sending out stuff. We got, people got their water bath kits. We still sending out books. We still doing help. I'm still doing everything, y'all. I just haven't wanted to be on here as much. It feels good to just breathe a minute, and not be having to think about what I'm going to talk about. Not that I don't want to do it, but I'm detoxing, like my nephew said. You said Dad was downloading the download, right? And y'all got, what I was thinking about today? When we first started this and we was doing all these studies, a lot of y'all didn't have no idea about the stuff I be talking about, right? Like, y'all probably was like, this lady is crazy. But with all of the information y'all have now, right? If you were to go back and watch those old videos, you would already know where to go for your books, where you need to be, what you need to look up. So I was thinking today, it's like watching a movie and then you never paid attention to it and then going back and being like, what the heck? Now, y'all can run through a class and probably fast forward because all of that information, you have it somewhere in your computer called a brain. It's there. You might not even remember that you know it right now. You're right, and I watch everything differently. Come on, I'm glad God allowed our time together. Me too. But I was just thinking, I was talking to my daughter about it, or my son. I was like, it's a lot of information that you guys have taken in, and we just giving time to process it. You all are trying a lot of new things, and so we don't have to be all day. Yeah, exactly. I was watching, trying to find me something to watch, and I did start watching House of David. I got a confession. Y'all want to hear it? Here we go. It is so hard for me to watch them shows when I know that them people is not the people. You see how they tried to disguise Saul and make him look like how the high yellow niggas in the hood look? They kind of got some good hair a little bit, and so you don't know. But they told you he was black because if you look at his wife and his kids, he got the roughest hair of them all. It is, you see how they switch some stuff up. Girl. And see, now y'all see why sometimes when y'all be asked, I'll be like, I can't, because I can't. Come on. Do it right. And then Saul silk press be lazy. I'm trying to tell you. So I was watching, what was I watching? Jim Henson knew. Y'all realize he was telling us a whole bunch of stuff when we was little and we didn't have no idea what we was looking at? Cause I'm like, I've seen this before. Y'all, but did you see, the wife went to the witch instead of Endor. Did. And y'all know did y'all realize that Wheel of Time is about Endor too? They call it Andor. They just put an A where the E is. And we already know that Endor is where a lot of the giants and stuff was living. Yeah. If you watching Wheel of Time, they just changed the A to the D. I mean A to the E. But when you know, you like, no, they didn't try to. Just like what is it? The Hobbit, what's the name we was watching late last year? Um they was at Indoor too, but they called it something else. So if you look at all of this, they telling it Lord of the Rings, yep. Yep, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Same thing. So is they telling us the Bible? And get this, if after the Tower of Babel, everybody spread out, but prior to that, everybody had the same stories, do you see it now? Do you? Jim Henson has a show from 1997. When I tell you, it's everything we've been reading, and I went and looked it up. Polydectes was a nigga. And it says he was like the first real Roman emperor. He was Libyan and something else. Y'all seen that one? Jim Henson, the man, and you know, he always got the dog, and he go through the stories. I was watching it last night. I said, oh, no, he didn't. But I remember watching that when I was a kid, 16, 17. I remember when that came out. I remember watching it. Whole time, I didn't even know what was going on. And now I'm like, no, you didn't. Yeah, okay. Here it is. Jim Henson, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not a part of that. What's the name? What you call it? I wonder if that's why we have live action Shreks and Fionas running around now. I believe it in my heart. I believe it in my heart. I do. What was it called? Hold on. I'm about to be able to tell y'all. Oh, it's gonna click y'all out, ain't it? Dang. Just look up. Let me do it right here. And of course, because the Muppet, what the heck is it called? Oh. Hold on, y'all. If it click, it's not Dark Crystal. Hold on, I'm about to tell y'all. What was I watching it on? I think it was on Prime. Let me see. The Greek Storyteller. Jim Henson's The Storyteller. Jim Henson's the Storyteller, the Greek Myths. It's on Prime. Literally. The Greek Myths. And y'all know, as soon as he was talking about people, I had my iPad, my phone right there looking it up as I was watching it. I said, oh. And the dude, let's see what his name was. His name is Polydectes. But they changed the spelling, of course. Polydectes. It says in Greek mythology, King Polydectes was the ruler of Seraphos, which made me think about Game of Thrones, and the son of Magnes and a naiad. He fell in love with Danae after his brother Dictys saved her from the son of Perseus. So it goes through this whole thing, but when you go and look him up for real, and when you go and look at old pictures, like old drawings, it's a black dude. And they got the puppets and Medusas like in the first one, so you got to get over that because the animatronics are weird because it was 1997. But you know what else Medusa had in his show? Guess what she had? Wings like old girl from Maleficent. She basically looks like Maleficent, but with snakes on her head. Her wings, her and her sisters. Yeah. Greek myths is what this one is called. And listen, I said, this man, he knew. He knew. He knew. And if you think about it, most people don't think none of this was real. They're not going to go look it up. It's a show. I went looking. Yep. She's like a mix between a harpy and a gorgon. Because I'm thinking, most times they don't depict Medusa with wings. Right? But if her daddy was an angel, and we know that there are angels that are serpents, right? There are angels that have like serpent type or beings, heavenly beings. I shouldn't say angels, but heavenly beings or whatever else it is. Okay. So if one of them fell and made it with a woman, would it not make Medusa? If you got to the end of the librarians, did y'all see what the god Apep looked like? She either had legs or slithered like a half woman, half snake, something. But think about it. They were magical beings. So if Enoch's brother could be a fish and a regular man with legs, So did y'all see what Apep looked like in the librarians? If you didn't got to the end of the librarians, the Egyptian god, his spirit was in that sarcophagus. Okay? But when they got to the tree of life, and he was able to get a body, he was blue. Like the thing in Pinocchio, and like all the people in Egypt, he was blue. A blue fire. Did y'all see it? If you think about the angel when Pinocchio kept dying and going back in this last Pinocchio, he's the same color. Same color as the storyteller. Jim Henson's the storyteller, and then that's the Greek myths ones. I didn't go look and know if there's any others, but I'm sure there is. But I remember seeing that when I was young, and it came out in like 1997, so I know I did. Yeah. Yes. So this is why I'm like, wait a minute, it makes sense. Project Bluebeam. Think about that. Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam is the same color as those beings. Who gave them the technology to do that? Where does all of this technology come from? You're welcome. Huh? We know where the technology comes from. It comes from the beings that's been here a very long time. Yeah. Yeah. I've been putting the pieces together, just looking into stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. Even watching and following. Yep. Yep. Think about it, y'all. So it's a lot of stuff that's happening right now that has to do with tech. Ooh. I'm going to just leave it because I don't have a clear thought on what I want to share with y'all, but it's a lot. Think about it. And who about to be walking through here now? Who, didn't God say he was going to let all them evil spirits out at the last part? The evil spirits that used to be running around, now they seeing all these imps and stuff. We seeing all kind of beings. I watched a movie called Bionics. It was nuts. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. But think about it. At the end times, God said that the phantoms and stuff was gonna be coming back, right? Now everybody's videos are catching these little bitty imps running around people's cars and shooting stuff into the air. Now this makes me think about it's a show we watched recently, and it was a little person that was shooting. It was like a little thing. What show was that we watched? And it was the little people, and they was shooting they little lights at the bigger, but they was like people that lived in the woods or whatever it was. We literally just seen that happen on, not to mention the corner of the eye stuff been jumping off. Girl, you ain't got to tell me. Yep. Right. The technology that advances limbs and brains. So think about this. If God said it was going to be just like the days of Noah, right at the end, that means all the technology we seeing now, it was right before the water started coming down. Right? It was here already. Everything that's been here is not new under the sun. It's already been here. Remember, we read the story on the little people in the Asian temples. And it was a show that we didn't watch recently where they was fighting against some little people like that. And now those beings are showing up everywhere. Look, this the thing. Part of me believes that God allowed us to study all of this so when we start to see it, we don't lose our minds. Because think about if you've been told that a dragon is not real, and then that thing, because we know they got them, fly over here. Or if we start to see men that have horse bodies, and we know that they're already doing it in Japan. How long is a horse pregnant? Sweet Tooth them is on their way, because most animals Q Shaka Khan through the fire as they come out through the mountains and lakes that we're used to. Listen here. Listen. Because think about it. If God said it was going to be just like the days of Noah, were there dinosaurs in the days of Noah? Were there magical beings that were half human and half animal? Were there giants? There was technology that had these people almost make it to heaven. Okay, all of that stuff is here, is it not? How long does it take to incubate a human alligator mix? This is why they push the demon face syndrome. Come on now. They okayed it last month. 11 to 12 months pregnancy for horses. Okay. Y'all think they only dealing with one animal over there? Yes, duendes are coming out and people are seeing them now. This. So they basically told us everything was missed, but now our cameras are picking it up. So did God allow us to learn before we saw it? There is a horse girl in Britain. I believe it. If horses only take 11 to 12 months, that means we could see a centaur in 11, the world's first real centaur in 11 to 12 months. Satyrs, centaurs, harpies. They showed us Sweet Tooth so that we would be ready for the announcement. I believe God is preparing us, like you said, so we won't be in shock. They already telling us, and all the shows, yeah. She had surgery to make her face look like a horse. Lord Jesus. And the pig babies they were talking about a few years ago. Come on. People forget about that. But my dad, we used to get the science magazines. People forget about all that genetic testing they've been doing for a long time. This is how they know they can put a pig knee or a pig heart in you and it's going to work. They ain't just playing with people's lives like that. They didn't already made sure the genes match. Crazy. So, all the stuff that was here in the beginning to piss God off, they doing it right now. He said, we're in the prophecy, the clay and iron, where King Nebuchadnezzar. Listen. Yes, and did you see the Mountain Dew commercial with the seal? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I did. Yep. I remember when they were replacing pancreas for people with the diabetic. Okay. Okay. They just want to make sure it works. So think about this. People called us crazy for sitting here and studying these beings, and now Japan is making them. And these beings were alive, well, and kicking prior to the flood. She is from Berlin and calls herself Horse Girl. She's a DJ. Interesting. I might have seen some. I might have seen that. I might have seen that. I think I did on TikTok or something. I think I did see that. So let me ask you a question. Along with the prep of the smart cities coming to your area near you, in my announcement for area near you, come on. Go outside and it's going to be crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if that is what they use to wrangle people and keep them in line. They used to send people in there with the minotaurs, did they not? That's how we got the whole labyrinth. It was half cow, half man. So if it's going to be like the days of Noah, they was putting them in those rings with those beasts. That's how old boy had to kill him. What's his name? Hercules. Right, and church folks don't look at that part. They skip over it. Listen. Why would God say people's hearts is going to be given out with fear with the stuff that's going to be coming out the earth? The veil is about to be ripped. They have space in LA for smart cities now. Listen. Y'all see the global community forming right in front of us, right? Move wall runner. I believe in gladiator. Yeah. Listen. Movie. Oh, Wild Runner and Gladiator. Yep. So what are we facing? Because the spirits that's in them too, it was in Nero, and Nebuchadnezzar and all of the Persian folks and even the Israelite kings that became brutal to the people of God. You see it? The same spirits are there. The first thing they did was want to strip them of this and strip them of that and tell them who they wasn't and, you know, all of this. So we right there. When I was telling folks about this stuff a few years ago, they called me crazy. And now they're all like, yeah, so did you see? I did. But when I was trying to tell you how to prepare your mind for this a couple years ago, you said I was crazy. It could never happen. He's doing all of it. That's why I don't believe it might not be no school. I believe it might not be school next year. I remember this was in the old school cartoons back in the day. Flintstones, Popeye, to name a few. Listen. All I'm saying is I think we about to see some weird stuff. You hear me? Because think about this. Do y'all see that they didn't show David's other wives? Well, so far I haven't seen the other ones. His other wives, right? But we know that one of his other wives was a giantess or a gigantess, however you say it, right? A giantess. We know for a fact that he married and had children with a woman that was of the giant's line. We did the research. We already know this for a fact. He had, 7 wives, and one of them was a giant. Or from the line of giants. Okay? So does that mean that that line gets to go on forever? Like God said he gonna give the blessing to the house of Jacob. If David is in that line, does that apply to those giants that he had with that giantess? Huh? If the blessing of Abraham and the blessing of Jacob is going down the line to David, and David had children with a woman that was a giant, does that blessing go to those children? Could that be the races of giants that were still here after the earth and the ones that are still here now? Hey, anytime we saw big tall people, they were ancient Mesopotamia or Africa, which is where they was running through. He had wives from all of them places around near him, Solomon, whatever else. So, and they've had cave systems. It was cave systems and underground cities built way before the flood, I would think, but would stop at Judgment Day because he did it with Cain and Ishmael. Okay. I'm just saying. Maybe that's why they're still giants, because they was in that line. You hear what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff that we've been told is not real. It didn't happen. It's mythology. But you can find this information and they put it right in front of our face in all of these shows that we watch. Because the fact that they went on in there and acknowledged that the giants was, remember I told y'all, they was living all around the Israelites. Now, when they took the Philistine castle thing, right? Y'all see how they slid in there that the Israelites is the ones that knocked the faces off of them? Off of Shalmaneser and what's his name? If you watching the House of David, did you see they had Saul say, we knocked the faces off of all of their gods, and then we're going to put ours there. Did y'all see that in the show? When Saul was tripping when the man came and he was going to give his daughter, remember the giant Og fought, the one who followed? Yeah. Yeah. The one that was with Lot. Not Lot, Lamech. Yuval. You watching the Wheel of Time? Okay. Yeah. I said, no, y'all didn't try to blame it on them. Did the witch have power in this show? Did her magic work? How far into the seasons are y'all? I thought it was only 8 episodes. Of what? It is, but I dissected them. The 4 that I watched. I hated this giant because he got circumcised. Oh, you talking about Nimrod. Nimrod. But I'm saying the magic that she did, it was real, is what I mean by that. It didn't work against the Israelites and stuff. But I'm saying the magic that she used, it was real magic, is what I'm saying. They didn't have her going, they didn't say, are you going to go to the witch? Are you going to go here? Are you going to go there? Because it didn't work. The magic, whether she could deflect it or whatever else, she had to use magic to do so, did she not? Her magic was real, is what I mean by that. It wasn't no pull no rabbit out of no hat magic, right? And we know this even from the Bible because she had enough power to bring up. You said she was druid, okay. Well, we know who the original druids are. But with that, it worked. She was not a renowned witch if her magic didn't work. Right? And they put it in the Bible that the magic that she did, she was able to bring up the prophet's soul, Samuel's soul, yes or no? That's even in the Bible that she was able to practice necromancy and bring up a soul that was not on in this plane anymore. Do y'all think the magic stopped being used then? The magic that actually works? Like the Haitian. Come on now. Still being used. And Disney they're using all of it. They're using all of it. Our president, the stars, they're all using the real magic that magic lady in Endor was using. They're using it now. They are. I just told my daughter today, I said it's crazy because, or my son, one of them, I said, people call me crazy, not for studying magic, but for understanding how it works. God would not have said kill every witch if magic didn't work. Which is why she clutched her pearls when she found out Saul was in front of her because of the death decree of the witches in the land. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. This. Now y'all understand. I don't want to do no magic, but I need to know how, like, what magic is. I need to understand how it works. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. I even been getting convicted, which is crazy. But I feel so weird going to look at the weather now. Thank you. It's a robe, actually. For sure, my sister. Uh-oh. You said for sure me and my sister was just talking about how Disney is showing it all. Yes. Yeah, this is a robe. It comes with a tank and some shorts. I just put it on, you know. Yeah. A Kardashian relative is reported to have sold her family descendant souls for power for witchcraft. That grandma. They been witches. Same thing I think about the weather class before I do. Yeah. I mean, thank you. I'm just thinking about it. How many things do we participate in, y'all, that we don't even know is magic? Case in point. Case in point. That's why I've been going back and looking at these shows and seeing what they've been telling us the whole time. I've been chilling, but it's also, I often wonder, nothing surprises me anymore. Listen, this the thing. I was looking up different things in the Bible, right? Because I saw something and I said, I know it don't say that. And it did. And I understand why it's important to repent for things knowingly and unknowingly. Yeah. But there's a scripture, and I can't remember where it is right now. I want to say I got it on my notes somewhere in one of these books. Yeah. Hold on. I think my phone got rid out too. All of my stuff is dead. So there was a scripture I was studying the other day. I don't think we got a chance to get to it. But I said, I know it don't say what I think it say. And it said it, and I came in here and got a book to make sure, and I was like, so I was studying about the breastplate. But there was a thing where Aaron, I think it was Aaron, and the scripture said, and again he did, hold on. Is it Genesis? I think it's Genesis, y'all. Hold on. I think it is Genesis. Come on. It's in Genesis in one of these chapters. I might have to go look at my other notes. But basically, they was waiting on an and right in our Bible, it is in Genesis somewhere. It said, in this, whoever this man is, he went and practiced divination again for the man to get his answer. And I said, this cannot be in the Bible, but it's right there. And I don't know how I didn't. It was talking about the Urim and the Thummim, or whatever, Urim and Thummim, however you say that. It's right there. And I think I might have wrote it down or screenshotted it. I don't know. But I was looking into it. I'm like, wait a minute. Why? Yeah. Hold on. I couldn't believe that was in there. I want to say you saying, dang it. Ooh, I wrote it down, y'all, but I don't know if I wrote down exactly where it was. But basically, they was waiting on an answer, and whichever prophet or whatever it was, it says that he went back and did divination, but the second time God told him, don't do divination. And I'm like, why would he tell them to do that? I think it might have been Balak. I think it was Balak. Hold on. Or Balak. Yeah, Balak of Peor. That was his name. Hold on. Right. So excuse me. It was the donkey. The donkey story. Balak and Balaam. If you go look in that story, it's the donkey story. It's the donkey story. Oh, look. Hold on. Ooh. I said, hold on, y'all. Oh, Lord. So, it was right before this. It was right before this. It's Numbers. I think it's Numbers 21, y'all. Hold on. I said, what? Where did that come from? And it's in the King James and everything, because I came right around in here and looked at it. And I'm like, hold on. Maybe it is Numbers 22. Because he came back with an answer. And it said something about some divination. I said, what in the... Yep. It's 22 and 23. Okay. He said, look. It said, Balaam said, build me 7 altars here and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me. Balak did as Balaam said. And the 2 of them offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Then Balaam said to Balak, stay here beside your offering while I go. Blah, 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 blah. Then Balak said to him, come with me to another place where you can see them. Where is it? I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a second. It's gotta be right here because I wrote it down. Divination by God's anointed. And I was saying, because I was looking up all of the, it's in this story. Balaam, because basically Balaam did some kind of divination, but it even say it in the Bible that it was divination done. And it said the last time they got the word, it said don't do the divination. And I'm like, wait a minute. I was thinking maybe it's online. I came in here and looked in my Bible, and it was right there in my Bible, and I couldn't believe it. It might have something to do with, it's either Moses or Balaam. But whichever one it was, it literally says it in our Bible, divination. And I can't think of exactly where it is right now. Give me a minute because I was writing about it. But it's either in Numbers or Genesis, wherever it is. The elders of Moab and Midian, taking them with the fee for divination, they came to Balaam and told him, right. Thank you. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. But also, it says, like, basically the third time God told him, don't do no divination or whatever. And I'm like, why? Well, what divination did they do? Was it the Urim and Thummim or whatever you want to call it? Like, what was it? You hear me? It says there is no divination, no evil will. Yeah, but that's not it. I want to say there was something. It's there, but it's either in between this and Moses, whichever one it is. They went to get an answer, and God told them whatever was the third time, don't do no divination. And that might be it. I might have just read it in a different version. But literally, I was like, God, why would you? What divination did they do? Because the third time or whatever, it said I guess he just prayed or he just waited on the answer or whatever it was. He didn't do no divination to get it. But if you think about the Urim and Thummim, it's magic. Because for that stone to light up and it's just a regular stone, how is that stone lighting up? That's how they would know. It says a light because they definitely had different ways that they could have did it. Yep, because they used to pull lots too. Come on, nephew. And we know that you see what I'm saying? But even when they would have the Urim, the priest would have the Urim, God would shine a light on it. And that's how they would know yes or no. But the priest had to do all of this stuff before they could do it. I'm like, the magic walking stick that parted the ocean and the Red Sea. And it was all a part of their mandated uniform, a magical breastplate. And then I even went and studied how they made it. And I've studied the breastplate before, what the stones mean, because that's normally what they have us do, the 12 tribes and all that. But gold is a conductor, is it not? And if you go look at how that thing was built, if the power of God were to flow through, it's crazy that God had him. Right. But I could see that it would be if anybody outside the priesthood lived as doing it. Exactly. And that's what it does mention magicians in Exodus. Yes, but I'm going to find it. So I didn't write it down on my notes. I probably screenshotted it wherever it was because I came in here and got my big Bible out. Like, wait a minute, I know it don't say that. And in our Bible, when I find the scripture, it was in reference to Moses too. It was another thing they was waiting on an answer, and it literally says divination in our Bible. KJV, and I was like, but it makes sense. Because what did the angels come down here and teach these women? And people get mad at me when I say magic was in heaven and it didn't become witchcraft until humans got a hold of it. But it makes perfect sense when I be reading and I'm like, wait, why does it say they did divination? Why would it say that? And he got an answer from God, did he not? Who answered Balaam? Or Balak? Who answered him? Who was giving him his answers? Right there in that scripture. Was it not God himself? This man was doing divination, but God was answering. Y'all getting me? Because they were not authorized to access and use that information, which points back to the beginning with Adam and Eve. If you go read that right now, when that man did his divination, who was answering him? Go run through that real quick. When he was getting his answers, it wasn't an angel of the devil that was trying to kill him. So he did divination and God answered. You saw a movie where Mary was known to have known magic. I believe it. But think about that. It's right there in the scripture. Do you not know that a man like me can find things out through divination? That's Genesis. You said that's Genesis what? Genesis 44:15. Joseph said to them, "What is this you have done? Don't you know a man like me can find things out by divination?" Now you getting where I'm going. Now, I don't plan on doing any divination, but it's interesting to see what's been sitting right in front of our face. You hear me? It's been right in front of our face that there were things that were happening. And I'm not saying we should do no magic. You should not be doing magic, but it's just interesting what's right in front of our face. Because I've read this Bible several times. Okay? I'm not saying every single word in it, but I didn't been down through there. And I saw that and I was like, wait, what? Wait a minute. Why would it say, and how are you doing witchcraft and getting an answer from God is what's blowing my mind. They taught those taught by angels knowing secrets. Yeah. Enoch knew magic, of course. You said Enoch 44:5 said Joseph used a cup for divination. Now y'all getting me. See, now the light is cutting on. It was some other people in there too. which also points back to the little girl following Paul around prophesying through divination, and they talk about it in the spiritual gift sections too. Hear me. Hear me. Hear me. Because how the heck did you do divination and God answered? You know what it made me think of? 30 coins. You said Israel equals Druids. Got it. That'll make y'all think of 30 coins? When they was able to open up the veil with magic. I mean, if I throw this down and it becomes a snake and you know for a fact it's a stick, is that not magic? Joseph, Moses, Aaron, Joshua, King Saul, King David, and the one or another used divination. Boom. So when Moses threw his staff down and it became a snake, and then the wise men threw their staff down and it became a snake, what was that? So when people say that magic is not real, that can't be true. We know for a fact that it is because it's mentioned so many different times in the Bible. It's crazy. That part. That's how I know, okay, that what we see in these movies is not make-believe. Doctor Strange, because most of the symbols that they used to be showing you in Doctor Strange are angelic seals. And he was able to get through time and do all of these things with angelic seals. You hear me? I think it was in the Librarians that said that Solomon had the ability to teleport. What did they show us in Aladdin? That he could get from here to there in no time on the flying carpet. Okay. Yeah. So the scientists say he was able to whatever. And on the cartoons and the shows, they show us that he had a magic carpet that could go really quickly. Do y'all think the magic ring from God only gave relics, runes, and artifacts, all sources of magic channeling? Come on, nephew. All I hear in my body is standing up because it makes me think about what we're getting ready to see, or can possess or contain a certain capacity of magic. Exactly. So what if the trees that look like people are really people that they turned into trees? We've seen in all the cartoons and all the scary movies that people get turned into trees. Well, hey. Magic stuff. The magic carpet and the genie in the cave of wonders. Come on now. What if the cave of wonders is the cave of treasures? You remember all the gold and stuff that God had him bring them, and it lit up the cave. There was so much gold in there, or even the penalty of using it. Come on. You hear me? I was looking at a video where a cow was bobbing his head like a human, listening to the music. Make you think, especially when all of the Haitian people be selling. They said they be turning people into cows and selling them. I just been thinking about a lot of stuff, because y'all know, even in the lost books, if God turned Nebuchadnezzar into an animal, brooches, amulets, rings, bracelets, all created to store magic, and they always got some type of stone on them. The bigger the rock, the better. Think about it. God turned Nebuchadnezzar into an animal for 7 years. Seven. Disney tells us that they be turning humans into animals, and they live as an animal for a long time. Do they not tell us that? Brother Bear and all of the other ones. And people will say Brother Bear is not real, but Nebuchadnezzar, God himself turned Nebuchadnezzar into an animal. Can y'all get the scripture for me while I run to the bathroom where God turned him into a beast? Please. Y'all got it? Daniel 33. Princess and the Frog, Brave, Shrek, Maleficent. You will be driven away from the people and will live with the wild animals. You will eat grass like the ox. 7 times will pass by for you until you can be restored to regular. Y'all know we got the book on this man. It's one of our little skinny ones. Nebuchadnezzar. Where are you? real thin. Almost non-existent. Where are you, Nebuchadnezzar? And he talked about how he said the same thing that Og said in his book about when the demons come on you, it transforms your structure. Is this it? Is it? Yep, boom. It's over here. Uh-oh. Remember this? Y'all remember this? Nebuchadnezzar? Uh-huh. Excuse me. Talked about the dark ones. Okay. I'm going to just read this part right here. It says, and the king lived in the forest near the Tigris, and King Nebuchadnezzar's whole body was then shaggy with matted hair, which dragged upon the ground. He moved about as a beast. For King Nebuchadnezzar, struck with madness and rage and astonishment of heart. King Nebuchadnezzar was then ruled by violence, and violence went through him, and he destroyed all that stood in his path. And he was in awe of his own violence, and he enjoyed it. He departed to his forest by way of the Tigris River. For violence and spoil were in him, and he was covered with wounds. He did violence upon all who came close to him, and deceit was in his mouth. He spoke, the beginnings of all of his words were, he spoke, and the beginnings of all his words were foolishness, for a dark one spoke through him, saying, the violence done to your king, and my flesh shall be upon the inhabitants of Nineveh. And King Nebuchadnezzar always did violence to all he met. For strength was in his hands, and his dark one ate the violence and was sustained by it. If that don't help you stop getting in the middle of mess, it literally said that the demon that God sent on him to transform him into the animal fed on violence and deceit. Y'all watching what's the name of David? House of David? Ain't they said it was the spirit of Agag, and you know what I thought about? They show the spirit of Agag haunting Saul. What if Agag was a giant king? Because if I'm not mistaken, he was part of one of the tribes of the giants. What happened to the souls of the giants? Who are they now? if he was a giant king, when he died, he was trapped here as an evil spirit, was he not? Torment you in life and in death. You said Agag was indeed a king of the Amalekites, and the Amalekites was giants. So even with them showing us that, even if it wasn't the spirit of Agag that tormented him, but it very well could have been the spirit of Agag that tormented him, because he was a giant king, and we know that the giant spirits are trapped here as evil spirits. So when I saw that, I was like, then they talked about the giant sword that he had. And when we first started this, I showed y'all the pictures of the people standing next to the giant swords and the giant double-edged swords. And they were saying they just made those. Didn't nobody carry them. And now they done found that big old giant sword laid over there in what's the name somewhere? That a person 450 feet tall could yield. Y'all seen the sword that's floating around. Somebody 450 feet tall could easily yield that sword. Period. I also believe that God, he's allowing all of this stuff to be on earth so we can know what was really going on prior to the flood. We've read it, but now he's allowing us to see it. You said, was Amalek the king of the elephants in 300? I don't know for sure. But I know in a lot of the magic movies and stuff, Balak and Balaam are names that they use for the wizards. So I wouldn't be surprised. Because if you look at the house of David, and when he was trying to marry his daughter off, and he was like, our house is this, that, and the other, it kind of made me think of Game of Thrones too. The Mad King. Could Saul be the Mad King? In Game of Thrones, they had a mad king. He went mad. And he was snapping out on everybody, trying to kill his own sons and stuff. Ain't that what Saul did? No? Saul was known as the Mad King as well. So. And there was witches around when Solomon was around. The Red Witch, who was probably from Endor. Because remember, I told y'all, when you go back and you watch Game of Thrones, that seat that they always show you, and they showing you how people's crossing over. Remember, I told you, if you go look at that, it's them coming down from Russia and all of that going into Egypt. So who is the Mad King? Is the Mad King Saul? We already know from Og it was dragon siblings and this and that prior to the flood. The Bible says there was giants here after the flood. We know because David fought with them. You hearing me? Yeah. They've been putting the Bible in our face the whole time. We just don't be knowing what we looking at. And because we don't know the Bible stories, the whole Bible stories, they can give us the KJV. We just look at that, we read that part of it, and then we go watch these movies and don't even realize that that's the rest of the story. But they have the scrolls. They have access to the ancient scrolls and the ancient, books and all of this kind of stuff. In the house of David, the daughter says they're entering so the people don't think their dad Saul has lost his mind. Mm-hmm. And remember, in Game of Thrones, they was trying to keep the Mad King away. They didn't want nobody to know he had went mad. Entertaining. Right. I'm sorry. Right. They didn't want nobody to know he had went mad, just like in there. Not only that, again, back to the giants. Remember I told y'all that all of those nations that were surrounding Israel, like that lived up in the hills and in the mountains, hey pumpkin, they were all giants. So now when you go back and you look at that picture that I showed y'all for 3 years, where it was people this big, and this big, all of these people were living at the same time. If we know that the giants are the ones that practiced miscegenation, which was the mixing of the species, does that mean that monsters were living when David was living? Because all the things that were here prior to the flood, God said they was here after the flood. So, was there monsters after the flood? If the dinosaurs made it off the boat, if the giants made it off the boat, or wherever went underground or wherever they went, did the monsters go too? You said all of the giants came from Noah was a giant. All his sons was giants. Noah was 210 feet tall, or close to it. So did the fallen angels come again to make? Noah was a giant. Y'all, we just read it. Noah's grave was 210 feet. And it's in anti-Lebanon or Lebanon. They know exactly where Noah's grave is. And they've been knowing since 1895. It's a book up here called The Giant Cities of Bashan. And it tells us right here in this book from 1895 or 1897 that this man went over to Palestine in 1895, and the people that lived over here, they took him to Seth's grave. They took him to Moses's grave, not Moses. They took him to Adam, Seth, and Abel's grave and Noah's grave. And it says Abel, Seth, and Adam's graves were 30 feet. And then Noah's was 210. So the picture that National Geographic had years ago that everybody kept saying was photoshopped, that's like the size that Noah was, where the two men were standing on the side and they keep showing those big old skulls. Noah was 210 feet tall. That's crazy. I mean, even Adam and his sons being 30 feet tall is crazy. Crazy. So when the Bible says there was dragons, do you believe it was dragons? You believe that? Okay. So I just been looking around and I've been going back over the same Bible we've been reading. And I just been seeing stuff that I didn't see before. I didn't see it. And so now it's leading me to all these other places, not bad, away from God, but just to help me understand. This is why this is why God used to be so mad, because it was a lot going on. And I think maybe the church really don't talk about the divination part of it because maybe they think people will go looking in a negative way, right? Trying to do it or whatever. But I want to understand, and not the magic. That I don't care. I don't want to do no magic. I don't want to be cursed and none of that. But just understanding, like, these people had real power. And there were things that they could do to change cell structure and all of this of real people. Every other country has a dragon depicted in flags, in buildings. This part. This part. You said Job 41, 19, and 21 depiction of a dragon. Okay. All I'm saying is I just been looking around. And y'all know when I'm studying, I'm not just in one place. So that's why I said I haven't got the whole clear thought of what I was going to do. I had just started writing some of it down. And then I wrote some more down and I got screenshots. So I haven't put it all together yet. But it's interesting to see what, like I said, what's been sitting right in front of our face the whole time. You know what I mean? Because I've read Joshua, I've read Genesis, I've read Exodus, I've read these books. And how I didn't pay attention to, you said this is what upsets me about the church, they don't give the complete truth. Well, you have to think about it though. Again, they're told not to, I was told to not to study outside of the 66. But that makes me sad because it's like you can't get to the information that way. You know? I mean, even all of the stuff that we've been studying, that our signs and our symbols and everything, it's all relevant to right now. Because they're still using the same symbols. They're still using the same angelic signs. They're still using certain names. Oh, two things. Start checking the soles of your shoes. Y'all nephew was showing me, this is what made me get back on this today too. So y'all nephew, you know, he resell shoes and do all of that. He pulled out a pair of Billie Eilish's shoes, like a rare pair of shoes that he has, that she did with Nike. And if you take the sole out of the shoe, in the shoe it says something like, once it starts, it never ends, or something like that. Or once you start, never stop. And he was like, so then we got on the conversation of Nike. When Jordan first did his first shoes, Korea put a symbol on the bottom of the sole. Well, they just reintroduced that same symbol on the bottom of, not the sole, but the insert. Start checking under your inserts of your shoes. Because think about this, and this is what me and y'all nephew was talking about today. Who's ever heard of write a person's name, put it under your shoe? They used to tell women, if you don't want that man to walk away from you or whatever, write their name on a piece of paper and put it in your shoe. Y'all ever heard that before? He said, Mom, when you turn over the soles, they be having all kind of words and symbols. And he said, if it's a something board shoe, you would never know what was under there because you can't take, unless you take the shoe completely apart. We already know that these people be naming they companies and stuff right. Why do they write that stuff in the bottom of our soles, y'all? They put those symbols on the thing underneath the, like if you pull your soles out in these new shoes, they have words underneath that insert. Sometimes it's printed on the back of it, sometimes it's in the shoe. My son, I was like, what the heck? I said, son, think about that. That's like witchcraft. Because whatever, like if she said once you start, you never stop or something like that, what if that day you started doing something you wasn't supposed to? Think about, and aren't we addicted to shop? Okay. Whatever statement they want to write, they can just write it on the sole of the shoe. If it is an incantation, they can just write it on the shoe, on the inside, and you would never even know it was there. This all came about from him showing me the inside of a shoe, and I'm like, you very rarely find shoes that don't have some type of inscription or statement in the sole of the shoe. Like, just do it. Soles for souls. Just do it. It's kind of like, don't think about it before you do it. Just do it. So if they wanted to put a spell on us, just write it in the bottom of your shoe sole. The sole of your shoe or the insert of your shoe. And if they could get some of the hair to put in the bottom of the shoe with a name too. And it's called a sole. Y'all hearing me? All you gotta do is think about when the Facebook dude got exposed and they asked him to take his jacket off. It looked like a regular black jacket until he turned out the inside. The part nobody could see, like the soles of our shoes. His black jacket just looked, they said, you always got this black jacket on. And it was a whole angelic symbol on the inside of it, in the pyramid and the words in there and all of that. Well, unless he's taking his jacket off, you wouldn't even know that was in there. So I've been digging around in places. And this is why I said, I've been thinking about how much magic do we participate in and we don't even know we do. Rick Owens, you don't think he writing something in the soles of his shoes? Think about who his wife is. In the soul, because it's the one area and place that you connect and ground yourself to the earth. Interesting. Y'all don't think he got some kind of inscription on the inside or some kind of symbol under there in between where nobody is ever gonna think to look? No. If you want to put a spell on somebody or have them wearing something that's cursed, it's the easiest way to hide it in a shoe. A symbol on the sole or insert of your shoe. Easy. And most of us ain't taking our shoes apart to see what's in there. And I'm not telling you go take your shoes apart, but y'all don't think that's interesting? Something so simple, you wouldn't even think nothing about it. And there could be demonic symbols and angel symbols or um, spells written in the inside of your shoe, and you're not thinking nothing about it. Because he's had those shoes and didn't even know it was in there. One of my hubby's shoes says, F you have a nice day. Interesting. On the inside of it, you said that's why the elders of my family would tell us not to walk away from our shoes when we was at someone's house. No, I'm going through them right now. What? On the back of them. Maybe the old pairs we can look. I'm just saying. Because he's had the shoes. He hasn't ever worn them. And he was relacing them with taking the color out and putting a different. And he pulled the thing out. He said, Mom, look. On the inside, under the insole. Sure is. I just pulled up the shoes of New Balance, and there is 2 worlds sewn upside down on the fabric. First word I can't figure out. The second word is B. Here we go. This. So when I tell y'all I've been all over the place, and even with the clothes and everything, the most effective way to keep the things hidden from the masses for the least amount of exposure. Nephew, and got them standing in line waiting to buy accursed things or things that are magically charged or have some kind of prayer that Michelle Lamy done prayed over him or whoever. Come on. I'm telling you, when he did that, my mind just started like the girl on the librarians. I was like, you said I'm finna learn how to make everything. But simple things like this. If God told the priest and the people what they were supposed to wear, I have a pair of old Nike Shocks, and when I looked it up, what did you find, Jamila? You said, let me get some extra oil in my house. Shaq was a power. Oh, you said, I have a pair of old Nike Shocks, SHOX, and when I looked it up, Shax was a powerful demon with wind-based abilities. He was best known for being the personal demonic assassin of the source of all evil. Just like info in the books for most don't read, but has the most valuable information ever. Okay. So Nike Shocks was a powerful demon with wind-based abilities, and he was best known for being a personal demonic assassin. Interesting. Jordan says, have simple wings with the ball. Okay. Y'all getting me now. Maybe that's why a lot of Asians have you take your shoes off at the door. Yes. You ain't about to bring that mess in. I do too. You cannot wear your shoes in my house. Leave them at the door. I don't make you leave them outside, but when I had a house, you could leave them outside. Like if I had what's the name? But you're going to leave them at the foyer or that door. You don't wear shoes in my house. One, because I like to lay on the carpet, but yeah, no. They've been playing in our face the whole time. Look at y'all thinking, wait a minute. How many people, this is something that never crossed your mind for real? And I'm going to be honest. Like, I thought about the symbols and stuff on the shoes, but I never thought about the insole and what might be in there. Samoan too leave shoes outside. It's a lot of African countries you can't wear shoes in their place either. You got to take them off. All this came from me getting in here and then y'all nephew doing what he did today. Something simple. He pulled the insole out and I was gone after that. I thought about it because they was putting all the labels in all the kids' clothes on. Oh, okay. Yep. When they was doing the labels in the clothes too. Right. We did talk about that. But I'm just saying, in the sole of your shoe though, under the bottom of the insert where nobody looks. No, I mean, unless You have a medical condition, 9 times out of 10, you're not taking your insert or that insert out. You're not going to even take it out. In the MJ documentary, mine said the first year he wore them shoes, his feet would bleed every time. Like he sacrificed to the shoes, huh? Yep, in Japanese animes, they never walk in the house with shoes off at the door. Yeah, it's always been shoes off at my door. That's what used to irritate me about my ex-husband, because you bring all that mess from whatever you did today in my house, and I don't need that. Mm-hmm. So I'm about to go make me some pot pie. I was, or I might not make pot pie. I might make it tomorrow. I'm gonna see. But yeah. Mm-hmm. So just little things. Like I said, I've been getting to look into different things. And you know what it makes me think about? What's old boy with the flying shoes? Like you said, they got the wings on it, but what was his name? And his shoes was magic, and they flew. Never thought about under the shoe, but that makes sense. Though because we had never looked there, right? And seeing as how a lot of these designers go to these old school witches to pray over their brands and stuff. All the designers and the famous people be with Rick Owens' wife, don't they? And that other lady, Marina Bravakovich, or whatever her name is, them two ladies, if they want to go somewhere in the world, and both of them look dead, there you go. And under the sole of one shoe, it has 2 red dots, one up by the toes and one in the middle of the heel. Interesting. They go to the high-ranking witches to get their brands blessed. So they're in the hidden occult. So it makes sense, or the occult, and everything that they do is hidden in a place, but it's right. It's hidden, but right out in the front. Hidden in plain sight. Writing a spell on the inside or the sole of our shoe would be hidden in plain sight. Would it not? And think about how busy the shoes are now. They be having all kind of symbols and lines and this and that and all kind of stuff on them now. The messier and junkier as far as the stuff, the better. So all kind of words and hidden symbols. Like he has the ruby red slipper Nikes, the Wizard of Oz Nikes. He has those. And all of the insoles have the wicked character, the people on them. But there's several different souls. He showed them. He pulled out the inserts and showed me all the inserts have a different person on them. So one of them got the green witch on them. One of them got the wicked witch. One of them got Dorothy, I think. And then it's all these other symbols up closer to the toe that if you never take that out, you would just think it's Dorothy on the back and whatever else it is. So he's been showing me the insoles of all of his shoes, because I guess they send different insoles, with specific shoes and stuff like that. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Let me see that again. This type thing. So, because we don't think about it. But think about it. The Bible talks about feet that are swift to run to wickedness and all of that kind of stuff. First thing people want to do is show off their shoes. They actually have shoe cameras for shoe grams, shoe whatever. Different pair of shoes make you walk different. You feel a little different when you put that there. I mean, literally, you change the way you step. Just like certain clothes you put on, certain wigs that have certain names. I'm starting to understand deeper. Everything is not just on the surface. I would think it would be on the most expensive and the cheapest to get the most impact on the people. You saying it, nephew? Yep. You saying it, because they need to get out as many pairs. This is blowing my mind on how I used to be hooked on sneakers and basically had to give away 90% of my shoes. Listen, Folks get mad. Folks have been unalived for stepping on somebody's shoes, which could easily be a sacrifice to the god of whoever is over that shoe. I'm gonna rub my shoes down with a whole lot of oil and spray. Don't do that. Don't mess up your shoes. I'm just saying, how long have they been getting away with this? And because we don't understand how magic works, we not thinking about them putting a spell on the sole of our shoe, or a conjuring or a symbol that would attract that demon to us. Because as we can see, even in the movies, wherever they draw that person's symbol, that demon is summoned, is it not? So if they put a demon symbol or a demon saying or some type of incantation on the bottom of the sole of your shoe, and then all of a sudden it ain't till you get this that you start having this stuff happen in your house and whatever else it is, could it be because you summoned the demon and paid for it? You said, right, middle school was serious, stepping on new forces, making a crease. Okay. Forces. Think about even that. Nike forces. Nike was a god. Right? What is a force? Spiritual forces. Nike was a god. And we're always talking about spiritual forces and the air forces. Oh, like spirits is Nike is Job's niece. And she had magical powers, did she not? Daughter, not niece, daughter. Strength or energy exerted or brought to bear. Interesting. Forces means strength or energy exerted. Strength or energy exerted. Interesting. Yeah, that's crazy. It be right in our face. Show do, nephew. This is the something of New Balance. I have the intelligence choice. Interesting. New Balance 327 shoes likely have words printed under the insole because it's design or element or branding, possibly related. Uh-oh. 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 You said that New Balance, they got the intelligent choice 327 have words printed under the insole because it's design element, the design element or branding. Why would you need to print something under the insole if nobody's going to look there? Related to a specific collaboration or special edition of the 327 model. It's very sneaky. Why would you print something on the insole and nobody ain't gonna see it? It's a waste of your company money, ain't it? Nobody's ever going to see it. So the only people that know it's there is the people that made it. Now y'all see where I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. So do me a favor. Go look up 4 pairs of your shoes. Go look up 3 or 4 pairs of your shoes and see what the insole says. Like, don't take it out your shoe, but just go look it up online real quick. You know what else I just thought about? The movie with Adam Sandler, Cobbler. My Doc Martin says airway with souls bouncing. Airway with souls bouncing. My Nike Air Mac walking shoes has the same dots under the sole on the bottom of the shoe on the inside. I would go look that up and see what symbol that is. I would definitely go look it up. With soles bouncing. We talked about the wigs. We already talked about the wigs, how when you put a different name wig on, it make you feel different. But think about this. When I think it was Moses. It was Moses. Didn't God tell him take his shoes off because he was standing on holy ground? Didn't he have to take his sandals off? Somebody had to take their sandals off because where they were standing was holy ground. Didn't he have to take that? He had to remove his shoes. Was it Moses? Abraham? Somebody had to take their shoes off. It was Moses. Okay, think about this. Moses' shoes didn't wear out. So where did he get them shoes from? It says that when they was in the desert, they sandals never wore out. Right? How do we know that it wasn't a cobbler in Egypt that practiced magic that made those shoes? They showed us in the movie The Cobbler with Adam Sandler that the people that make shoes is magic, did they not? They always telling somebody to go to the magic shoemaker. Even in the fairy tales, it's the magic shoemaker, the shoemaker, to go to the shoemaker do the magic, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we looking under our shoes, in the soles of our shoes, in a place where only the cobbler would know that they are. There are symbols, words, and everything else. Now that I think about it, I perform completely different based on the cleats I wear. Oh my goodness. I usually think I just be thinking too much into it, but this is confirmation for sure. Come on, nephew. See? Then he said, do not come near. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place on which you stand is holy ground. It was his shoes, and his soul had to be connected to the ground. Think about that, y'all. But he came out of Egypt. So ain't no telling who made his shoes. And now that we see Yeezy, all of these people be worshiping the devil, and we buy their clothes. We buy the shoes they make. The Keebler elves. Come on. Come on. Nephew, so could it be the entity that is giving you power? I mean, and I'm not saying for sure, but do y'all see where I'm going with this? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Opposing forces, duality and balance for the two opposing forces like good and evil. Girl, quit playing with me. In New Balance, the two dots in New Balance or in the Nike Shocks or whatever is for duality and opposing forces, y'all. Opposing forces like good and evil. Why would they put that on the bottom of the suit? I'm about to go. And my parents think I got some New Balance in there. My maroon ones. Keep some New Balance. The ASICS logo, an acronym for the Latin phrase Anima Sana Incorporate Sano translates sound mind in a sound body. No way. Love ASIC gels too. Keep me. I ain't got none right now. Oh my God. Y'all hear that? ASIC's logo is an acronym for the Latin phrase that translate a sound mind in a sound body. The bottom of my Adidas Sambas has 3 dots and a target like the circle on the circle on the bottom. About to tear this house up looking for stuff. Listen, I told y'all none of these names is for nothing. Every single symbol, they do not just put it. Oh, I like this. No, it is a reason. Told y'all, everything have a meaning. And people like, you thinking too much into it. No, just like our nephew said, when he wears certain cleats, he plays better. Could it be because of what's on the inside of the sole of the shoe? Now let me ask you a question. What's at the end of your feet? Like what's at the end? What's on the bottom of your feet? There's something that everything in your all your nerve endings is in your feet. They tell you, the Chinese, you can detoxify your body through your feet. Hookworms can get into your body through your bare feet and get into your bloodstream. Okay? So do they know what they're doing? If they understand magic and we don't, that's like they say, put the stuff up under the person's bed and all of this kind of stuff. It's written things in a different language that nobody else knows what it means unless you even know to look there. This is magic. And again, this is the thing. This is why I be saying, I wonder how much magic we participate in and don't even know it. Just think about if you save a whole bunch of money that God gave you to go buy something that was prayed over by a witch for this person to get famous, and you miss out on time with him to go buy these name brand things that are named after idol gods or demon spirits or have some kind of incantation on the sole of the shoe. You know how long it took me to save for these? I had to sacrifice everything to get this. And it's named after a pagan god. Or has the pagan god symbol or a demon's or a fallen angel symbol on the sole. This is why names are important. Hey, this is why names are important. This is why understanding symbols is important. Looking up other, like whatever this phrase says, looking it up so you know what it say, and you wearing it on your body just because it says something else in another language. I would have never thought that's what ASIC stood for ever in life. Hey, who would have thought that that's what ASIC stand for? A Latin phrase. My dad kept us in ASICs, honey. ASIC gels, me and my brother. Who would have ever thought? Who would ever thought that them 2 dots mean opposing forces? Or Nike Shocks, and Shocks being the god who was an assassin. Shocks. This is why I tell y'all, today I went through my shoes and I have a whole bunch of shoes that are good to donate and want to get rid of. Right, but I'm just saying, even with that, y'all, something as simple as that, because we don't understand how the devil works and how cunning he is, nobody would have ever thought that they was putting incantations on the bottom of our shoes. I didn't. In the soul, in the part that we can't see. But because we don't study and understand how certain things work, we ain't thinking about it. There was an old lady who lived in a shoe. Okay. I'm about to go. But now y'all see the stuff that I be around here. This is why I be watching like the librarians, the magicians, this kind of thing, because if God said magic is real, and we know for a fact that it is from several different stories in the Bible, and if he said it's going to be just like the days of Noah, that means that the same things that the witches and warlocks were doing back then, they're doing it now. But we don't have enough sense to know where to look. Just like that tag I sent you. Exactly. 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 So could this be why certain spirits is running through the church? Because everybody in the church got to have the latest. Do they not? The most expensive, the most gaudy, the flashiest thing in the church, that's what they want. And a lot of that stuff is named after these false gods. The Italian shoes, and it's an inscription in there in Latin or whatever else it is. Oh yeah, these is some from, and you don't even know what it say. It could be the name of a demon. It could be the incantation to every time you say that name, it is bringing that demon up in your house. You don't know, and we don't, because we don't understand. You said Jesus knew, that's why he had his own style. Come on. I mean, something as simple as what they've been doing at Bath and Body Works. Remember when we went and we looked up all of the names of the perfume? Yep. This reminds me of the class. Girl, you right on it, Jamila. This reminds me of the class you had. We were doing and looking up perfume names. Exactly. And they were all the names of demons. And we found out, well, we knew, that Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secret are apothecaries. And God said, don't go to the apothecary and get your oil. And all of their stuff is lust and seduction and this and that. All spirits. All the names of demons. So do you see what I'm saying about how stuff be right here and we don't pay no attention? We don't look deep enough into it. And I beg God to give us money to go buy these things. Sacrifice not studying to work extra hours to go buy these could be accursed things. Think about the people that sell their soul to get their fashion line off. They famous for a little bit and then they fall off. They go to Michelle Lamy or whoever else it is to get this magic, the Beyonce mama. All of them. We got to watch Superstition together. It covers all this. And the show features a black family. It's called Superstition. Okay. Superstition. I don't think I've ever heard of it. But I'll look into it. But do you understand, though? Y'all get what I'm saying? I'm about to go because I'm going to go make me some food. I ain't really ate nothing but yogurt all day today. So, this is the stuff I be on. It might be not necessarily biblical, but technically it is biblical because it was magic in the Bible. And God said we got eyes, but we don't see. And we got ears. Could this be one of those things? We always looking for what a person got on their shirt, but what about the hidden stuff? It's the hidden stuff that you need to be worried about. We know this. Right? In our souls. In the soles of our shoes, baby. It make me think about all dogs go to heaven. You remember when the one dog, he said, I want something. And he was like, joke's on you, dogs don't wear shoes. He was like, not that kind of soul. Your soul. And then the evil dog turns into the devil and start laughing. You remember? He thought he was talking about shoes. Dogs don't wear shoes, or whatever the little guy said. You know, he said that wasn't the soul I was talking about. Mm-hmm. Yep. I gotta go cook too. I'm about to go make my food. So I love y'all. I didn't even plan on being on. I was supposed to come and get on because I really didn't. Like I said, I've been reading, but I haven't been reading to teach. Does that make sense? Just doing my own research and looking into stuff and watching TV and then researching that and looking up who these people were, what time they lived. Like the Polydectus guy. Okay? Looking up that these people really lived. Did they live in 4 BC, 5 BC, 12 BC, 29 BC? Oh, so this was a real person. Good night, Punky. You hear me? This was a real person. So then I need to be looking at when they lived just so I can see what biblical person was living at that time and understand. Just like I said, people only think the Bible people live 900 years. No, the evil people was living 900 years too, so their stories are somewhere. And if they were wicked, they had 900 years to be wicked. They had 900 years to learn spells. They had 900 years to learn how to transform matter and all of this kind of stuff. And they passed those secrets on to the next generation. The same way the word has been passed on to us, they passed on that magic and those spells and stuff. And it's always been hidden right out in the open, like in the soles of your shoe. So, I love y'all. I'll see y'all later. A lot of unfamiliar names have been coming up, not common names too. Right. 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 So, simple things like this, people don't think it have nothing to do with a lot, but if you buying everything named after a demon and bringing it in your house and wondering why you can't get set free, that could be a thing. You hear me? That could be a thing. So, I love y'all. I'll see y'all later. You too, Pumpkin. You said love y'all. And sis, thank you. This is blowing my mind. Girl, it blew mine too when I seen it. I said, oh, they doing magic on our shoes. They literally can put magic right in front of our face in the sole of our shoe. Because we don't know no better than open the thing up and look in there. I love y'all. Bye.